Once upon a time, in a quiet little village surrounded by tall green hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a girl named Clara. Clara was known for her curiosity. She loved asking questions, exploring hidden paths, and listening carefully to every sound of the world around her. But what she loved most of all was stories. Every night her grandmother would tell her magical tales about brave heroes, enchanted lands, and talking animals. Yet Clara always wondered if there were real stories waiting to be discovered outside her own door. One warm spring morning, as she played near the edge of the forest, Clara heard a very soft sound. It was not the rustle of leaves or the call of birds. It was something different, something she could not quite explain. It sounded like tiny whispers carried by the wind. "Who's there?" she asked aloud. The whispers grew louder, as if answering her. They seemed to be calling her deeper into the forest. Clara's heart raced with excitement. She followed the sound until she reached a tall, twisted tree with golden leaves shimmering in the sunlight. Beneath the tree's roots was a small wooden door. Clara gasped. "A secret door?" She whispered. She gently pushed it open and found herself in a place unlike any she had ever seen. It was a garden, but not an ordinary one. Flowers glowed in colors she didn't know existed: silver roses, blue sunflowers, and golden tulips. Butterflies with wings like stained glass danced in the air. The whispers surrounded her, soft and kind, like a welcoming song. "Welcome, Clara," a voice said. Startled, Clara turned to see a small rabbit dressed in a green coat and carrying a pocket watch. "My name is Oliver," the rabbit said, bowing politely. "This is the Garden of Whispers. You are the first human child to find it in 100 years. Clara's eyes widened. "The Garden of Whispers? Why is it called that?" Oliver's ears twitched. "Because every plant, every flower, and every stone here carries a story. If you listen carefully, you will hear their whispers. They remember the past, the dreams of children, and the secrets of the stars." Clara's heart filled with wonder. She knelt beside a glowing daisy and placed her ear close to its petals. To her amazement, she heard a tiny voice telling her about the day it first bloomed under the silver moon. She touched a sparkling stone, and it whispered about the adventures of a fox that once leapt across the river. "This is incredible," Clara exclaimed. "But why did the garden call me?" Oliver's eyes grew serious. "Because the garden needs your help. Its whispers are fading. The stories are slowly being forgotten. If the last story disappears, the garden will vanish forever." Clara's heart ached. She could not imagine such beauty disappearing. "What can I do?" she asked. "You must find the golden book," Oliver explained. "It holds the power to keep the stories alive. But it has been lost for many years." Clara took a deep breath and stood tall. "Then I'll find it." Oliver smiled. "Follow the path of whispers. They will guide you." And so Clara's adventure began. The path twisted through the garden like a ribbon of light. As Clara walked, flowers bent gently toward her, whispering clues. "Follow the river of stars," murmured the lily. "Seek the singing tree," hummed the violets. Clara soon reached a stream that sparkled like the night sky. Tiny silver fish leapt joyfully, their scales glowing like stars. Clara knelt beside them. "Do you know where I can find the golden book?" she asked. The fish splashed together, forming an arrow with their shimmering bodies. It pointed downstream. Clara thanked them and followed the water until she reached a towering tree with branches that swayed even though there was no wind. "The singing tree," Clara whispered. As she approached, the tree's branches began to hum a gentle melody. Its bark glowed faintly, and in the music, Clara heard words. "Only the pure of heart can find the golden book. Look beneath where roots meet stone, and the truth shall be shown." Clara knelt at the base of the tree. She brushed aside moss and soil until she uncovered a small wooden box. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was not a book, but a silver key shaped like a star. Oliver appeared beside her. "That is the key of dreams. With it you may unlock the place where the golden book sleeps." "But where is that place?" Clara asked. Oliver's whiskers twitched. "We must travel to the Cave of Echoes. It lies at the very edge of the garden." The journey was long. Clara and Oliver crossed fields of glowing mushrooms, where fireflies lit their way like lanterns. They climbed hills where the grass sang softly beneath their feet. At last they reached a dark cave whose entrance shimmered with silver mist. Clara felt a shiver run down her spine. "It feels alive," she whispered. Oliver nodded. "The cave remembers every word ever spoken. That is why it is called the Cave of Echoes. Be careful, sometimes it repeats fears instead of hopes." Clara held the key tightly and stepped inside. Her footsteps echoed, then multiplied, until it sounded as though dozens of Claras were walking beside her. Shadows danced along the walls. Some looked like friends, others like monsters. A low voice boomed, "Turn back, Clara. You are too small. You will fail." Clara's heart pounded, but then she remembered the whispers of the garden, the kind, encouraging voices that had guided her. She lifted her chin. "I may be small, but I am brave, and I will not let the garden disappear." The echoes shivered, then soft, as if respecting her courage. At the heart of the cave, Clara found a golden chest bound with vines. She placed the silver key into the lock. With a gentle click, the chest opened. Inside lay the golden book. Its cover gleamed like sunlight, and its pages shimmered with words that danced like fireflies. Clara carefully lifted it. The book whispered, "Thank you, brave child. Because of you, the stories will live on." When Clara and Oliver returned to the garden, the flowers bloomed brighter than ever. The butterflies painted the air with colors, and the whispers rose like a joyful chorus. Clara placed the golden book on a pedestal at the center of the garden. Its light spread across every corner, filling it with life. "Clara," Oliver said, bowing deeply, "you have saved the Garden of Whispers. Its stories will never fade as long as children like you continue to listen." Clara smiled. "I'll always listen, and I'll share these stories so they will never be forgotten." As she spoke, the golden book glowed, and new words appeared on its pages, the story of Clara's own adventure. Clara hugged Oliver goodbye and stepped back through the little wooden door. She found herself once again at the edge of the forest, the golden tree standing tall behind her. For a moment she wondered if it had all been a dream, but when she placed her hand in her pocket she felt a tiny silver star, the key that had opened the chest. She smiled, knowing the Garden of Whispers would always be with her, and that one day, perhaps, she would return. And that night, when her grandmother told her a bedtime story, Clara listened more carefully than ever, for she knew that every story, no matter how small, had the power to keep magic alive